Hey, welcome to Total Schmidt Show. How you doing? I'm back at sea. Here's what you're going to get from this show. It's kind of like quarantine comedy, except I'm not going to be home. Actually, it's kind of like quarantine comedy and a combination of all the stuff I've done online over the last year or so. There's sketch stuff, live stuff, stand-up stuff, travel stuff, and of course, conversations with others who do the same things that I do on a daily basis. That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? Nah, maybe. Sort of. Could be. Either way, sit back. I hope you enjoy whatever the hell it is I put together for this week on Total Schmidt Show. Okay, say some stuff.
Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, hello.
I'll do it again.
Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check.
All right, that's
Hi.
good. That's pretty good. Check, test, check, 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 check. All right, man. We're good. That's it. We're starting.
Good.
All right, man. I'm glad you shaved. Thanks.
My little
Take
buzz.
your knee tag off, dude. Take that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Swearing is fine?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Go.
No, I don't care. Yeah, dude. So, how long you're leaving here? You're getting out of here, right?
Leaving here Sunday.
Is this your first ship back since we started the crap?
First ship.
Oh, no shit. Okay. All right. So this is just 1 week and then you're done.
Yeah, and then do the laundry and go back out again October 17th.
Dude, great job for a first ship back, man.
Thank you.
I mean, really.
It was well, it's not your first, but.
No, I just did a month, so I should. I mean, I was in pretty good shape coming here. Better than you. I mean,
Well,
my first week was it's different here because we do different shows.
Yeah, I haven't done 90 in 18 months.
Right.
And I've done shows here and there, but basically playing, the hits to get yourself back to being comfortable on stage. So I wasn't testing any waters. I wasn't doing new shit for the last, month or two that we've been allowed back on stage.
Right.
And then I went through my notes, and still there's like 3 bits that I have no idea what the fuck it is.
Right.
It's a key word, and I still don't know what it is.
Dude, I got the same. I get the bullet points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got the list. It's like bridge, shoe, burrito. Now Southport. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I tape all my shows, but I recently deleted a bunch of them off the phone and stuff. And then I'm like, I had to go back to one of the albums. I almost had to buy one of my albums.
I stole my set off YouTube. I was like,
Did you
I
really?
was like cheating on. It was like stealing from myself. Whoever this guy is, he knows how to tell a joke.
I was unemployed all summer. Anyone ever do that? Woo! Call on Sunday, you get a check on Tuesday. It's fantastic. But the first time you declare unemployment, they make you jump through some hoops. You gotta wait on hold to declare unemployment, just waiting there for 6 hours. Finally, I got to talk to the smartest woman available. 3 times this lady asked me, "So why come you got fired?" Why come you got fired? By the 3rd time I go, why come I'm the one unemployed and you have a job? Why come that happened? Can you explain that to me?
I got 2. I have a bit. I'll do it tomorrow. I think when we talk about it a little bit. It's a 7-minute bit. It's about 7.5 minutes long. And dude, I listened to it like 3 or 4 times. Like, I can't believe. I just can't remember this bit. And there's one I wrote during the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I just can't. There's so many words and it's long. It just, if you don't, after you've been on it for a year and a half, it just screws you up.
Yeah, I could do. I mean, before COVID hit, I could do my 3 sets with my eyes closed.
Right, right.
It was just rhythm, and you caught it. Comedians will catch it. You obviously knew I was kind of all over the place. The people don't understand that, which is something.
Yeah.
You got to have to convince yourself, because I felt like shit after I got off the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was the first one on the ship to go on. The stage is way back, and I'm like, I didn't ask questions. I'm like, shit, they want me to be way back there.
You're worried about the COVID.
And I'm so uncomfortable way back there.
You couldn't have been farther away.
Exactly.
There was probably about 25 feet between you and.
Yeah, because I thought, oh, the mic's here. That's where they want us to be. New COVID rules. And then I
Yeah.
saw George go up, George Solano, and he's in front of the crowd. And I'm like, oh, good. Okay, now I can be me again.
Yeah,
and
right.
so I felt way more comfortable by the end than I did the first one.
Yeah, well, the first couple are going to be rocking weird, but like I told Paul. Well, Paul did an extra 15 last night. So
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen anybody do an extra 15. You know what I mean?
Me and Bert were just looking at each other going, he has to have fog. I don't know, but I would know I'm doing 15 over.
Yeah, I would know. Well, I know, especially since we're trying to hit 30 and save material.
Yeah.
I do 5 different shows, so I'm trying to spread them out. So, like I told Paul, the 3rd and the 4th show are the toughest for me because I'm trying to structure what's going to be left for the last show. You know. But because I walked in and looked at you and like, what the? Did you start late? You're like, no.
Nope. Yeah, you guys did the theater, and God bless you guys, because you guys did an unbelievable job in the theater.
Thanks.
It
Well,
was
the
really-
month helped me. Those are the first shows, dude. So the The month helped me a ton. I just did the theater in Norwegian for 4 weeks.
I honestly was dreading it for you guys because small ship. I mean, 1,300 people on the ship, and
yeah.
How are you gonna fill a theater?
Well, the turnout was great.
I know,
like
that's the thing. Yeah.
We talked to Bert was here before you.
Yeah.
He's got the shows tonight. I go with nothing else going on. They're smart because there's nothing else going on.
Yep.
So if you're gonna do the theater, don't have comedy going.
They're playing the charades too. They're trying to figure out. Us comedians are. I know Joe Yannetti. Do you know a guy named Joe Yannetti?
Yeah.
He was on Royal, and something was wrong with the comedy club, so they put him on the skating rink.
Right.
I mean, because they're comedians. They'll do whatever they got to do.
Yeah.
So he demanded to wear a helmet and skates. He skated around and did his whole set on skates.
Oh, dude, that's great. I can't skate.
But like a dancer breaks her ankle. Cancel the show. Throw out the comedians.
Well, it happens all the time, dude. Sometimes we don't get enough respect, I think, for that.
Absolutely.
Because then you do a show in the theater. Like, who's it? Billy D. Washington was a friend of mine. He goes, something came up. They go, we need to do a show in the theater. He goes, yeah, no problem. He goes in, does a theater show, almost an hour. It gets done. He's like, wow, that was great. He's like, yeah. I don't tell you. It's what we do.
Yeah.
We just grab a mic, we tell jokes.
Yep.
Everybody seems to think, but we're the first ones they throw to the wolves. When the ship's rocking.
Oh, yeah.
Things are put away the band, tighten down the equipment, send out the comic.
I've been wandering on stage before, just going back and forth.
Well, there's like some of those rooms. There are a couple of rooms that had pillars on both sides of the stage.
Yeah.
And I would lean on the pillar and tell jokes. You know what I mean? Or hold on to something so it wouldn't fall.
But yeah, I guess it went smooth. I don't know. I'm not used to this sitting around stuff, which sucks. But
they're going to adjust all that as time goes by, I think. You know what I mean?
I mean, I should be writing, but write about wall, like write about what you see. I'm in a room with bunk beds.
I can't remember my material, and you got 3 days to go. Like, wow, I'm going to watch golf.
And then the first day with my no TV remote and no internet, the first day because something was wrong with my phone.
Right.
It was as close to being in a prison cell that I'll ever be.
Yeah, right.
Because I have bunk beds, I have a small cell, no TV, darkness, and that was it. That was almost like a scared you straight thing.
Yeah, right.
I gotta make sure my taxes are in line.
It's like, it makes you reevaluate.
This is what it is.
How long you been doing stand-up?
2007, so that gives us...
Yeah, I gotta do math now. That's 15 years. 15 years? 20... That's 25 years.
No way. No, can't be. No.
It's 15 years.
10 would be 17, so...
Yeah, it's
14 years minus 18 months.
Okay.
To be sat around.
So, all right. Oh, all right. We don't do that. Whatever. 15 years.
Take it up there.
Okay, so after you have 15 years and you're in a prison cell and you're reevaluating. It's been 32 years for me. So I'm like, you're sitting here going, well, so this is it. This was the goal.
Yep. This is the thing. And the irony is when I got my TV back, I'm sitting in this little jail cell watching 3 people on the Carnival Channel compete to do what we do. You suckers.
Yeah. Oh, I want to win this contest. Yeah, good for you. Knock, 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 knock.
Like we talked about before, like the contest is make something with a funny fruit. No, the contest should be go to guest services and try to deal with those people trying to get a new bedroom or a new pillow.
Try to get a bottle of water at a bar.
Order a scare mess.
Order a drink without getting yelled at.
Yeah. Those are the challenges. It should be just a contest on how well you can hold your composure of not yelling at somebody.
Yeah, it's got to be small victories, man. Fight, pick your battle.
Yeah.
What's important to you.
I mean, when the ships get big, though, I mean, that's another hurdle that I have trouble with. I'm not exactly a people person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I'm okay, but like walking, the people on like large ships when it's full, people that don't know how to walk.
Oh, right.
I just get frustrated trying to go from ship to ship. So now that there's nobody here, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, they're way open now. The crew, the crew calls them cones. Have you ever heard that phrase? Someone said there's cones. I go, what do you mean by cones? I go, cone. It's like the guests. They literally just stop in the middle of and promenade. Like, are you? Well, it happens to me at an airport.
Yeah, it's like being in a mall at Christmas time, 24/7 here.
I can't. So I told my daughters that, and they love that. They say it all the time. So my oldest, now we'll go to the mall, and she'll walk through the mall. She's like, fucking cones. She's trying to walk by people. She gets so frustrated. And I go, yeah. I told her there are people in your way. And at airport, it drives me crazy at airports. Constantly, where people just stop, look at their phone.
Yeah.
I'm walking like, can you go to the side?
Just dead stop or like no brake lights. and then you bumping into them.
Yeah. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you doing?
The concept of it's treated like a road. This side, right side goes forward, left side's coming the other way. And people who do it like in the airport, I'm in a rush, but you're going right at people.
Dude, I don't. Maybe it's because I travel a lot, or it drives me crazy. Yep. Man, the first thing I do is I get off to the side and do whatever I got to do, and then get back into the flow.
You're a normal human being.
Yeah.
I mean, if there were more normal human beings.
Yeah. Because people expect everyone to move at your pace, and you're like, no, move your.
It's same thing with this is the first time I've flown. Well, I flew once during the COVID, but I got used to how stupid people on flights. I'm in row 30.
Yeah.
Bing, they open the door up front. Why are we standing up?
Yeah.
Why are we standing up?
Yeah, right.
They're not going anywhere.
I love my favorite is when you're in row 30 and guy from 34 is, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like, where are you going?
Where do you hell do you
None
think
of us are going anywhere. And then he stands with his bag above your head. I go, good for you. Good for you. Now look at you. You're right next. That drives me crazy.
And then if I usually get the aisle, and there's two people to my left. Like, why aren't you standing up? I'm like, because we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Their bag's right here. Trust me. It didn't roll over in flight. And
see, I'll stand up right away just because I got to get my leg.
That's a leg issue. Yes. Okay.
But I'm not going to move. But when people, excuse me, like they do the thing, like if you have another flight, I'm even cool with that. I'll wait. I'm like, if you go, man, everybody move. Mm-hmm. But some people, you know what it is? There's a theory a lot of people talk about. People forgot how to act in public during COVID.
Absolutely.
I mean, people now are asses in a lot of places, and especially in places. How many times do you see somebody get duct taped to a chair now?
It happened. Happened last night. I was reading about it.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, some guy on a flight to Puerto Rico tried to rush the cockpit.
Dude, every time, tried to rush the cockpit.
Yeah.
No way.
Boston to Puerto Rico, and he was screaming Spanish and Arabic, and then they ended up he was grabbing the tie of a flight attendant, choking her. This is all over.
Just today?
Yeah, it was all over CBS News, but I got it on Twitter. Jesus. And they ended up using seatbelt extenders, and like that's the best we can do on a plane is find what you can to restrain somebody.
They had a hearing. They had a hearing yesterday, like in the House or Congress or whatever, about and these flight attendants, rightfully so, are coming forward and going, "Hey, we need some protection here. We're getting attacked." And they're telling horrible stories of these guys. Every time I'm on a plane, dude, I'm looking around and I'm like, don't. There was a guy sitting next to me on one flight maybe about 2 months ago, and he started in before we took off. And I'm like, I swear, I'm like, this guy's going to be an issue. This guy, I could tell right away. He was like, can you turn up the sound? I'm like, what's to what? The music. He couldn't hear the music before we took off. You know? Plus, not to mention, he takes off his shoes and socks. Which drives me crazy. And I don't want to say anything because I want to send him off. You know, I don't want to hear who do you think you know? And then so I'm just sitting there quietly. But I'm like, if there's an issue, I'm taking this guy down. I am not, because that back then, before taping people to seats, they were rerouting planes to different cities. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yep. And if you're going home, like, we're gonna stop in Dallas. No, I don't want to go to Dallas.
No, because of this jerk. But I mean, there's got to be a better thing that these stewardess and stewards have to turn into MacGyver with improvised weapons now. Right. What do we have? Like, don't you have a weapon somewhere to like a restraint, a legit restraint?
Well, I love I do a joke about the duct tape thing now. I think it's hilarious, man. You just tape some kid into a seat because he gets mouthy.
I think a lot of it's people are. The drinking is another thing.
Well, there's no liquor on most of these planes now.
A lot of people, personally, I need a calm down drink. I'm not the best flyer. I'm okay with it, but I like to calm the nerves a little bit. You know,
I don't drink much when I fly. It depends. Sometimes I'll drink when I fly, but most of the time I don't. I mean,
I like the airport beer.
Yeah, I'll have an airport beer.
I like that.
That's fine. It also depends on the time of day and stuff. A lot of times when I fly, I do a fast thing. Well, I'll try not to eat much. So I don't eat all day. I'll fast. True. You know what I mean?
I did Key West. I was in Key West in May, and that's the first time I flew. I didn't know about beer or drinks at the airport, and I had a layover in LaGuardia. Yeah. And I'm coming down, and I come right out, and I see an empty beer bottle on a table, and it's here. Beer is here. It's somewhere here. Because someone told me they weren't serving drinks even in the airport. And I'm I was like a bloodhound trying to find the closest.
Oh, right. Right on.
It was right during March Madness, so like all the games were on. It was a good layover.
There's a thing now. One of the things you were talking about in that news thing about the hearing that I told you about is some airlines or airports do take away beers. You can take a beer with you. Some guy walked up and ordered 4 shots of vodka and put it in a cup and just left. You know, so now they make American makes an announcement all the time saying you can't consume alcohol on the plane at all. You can't bring your own alcohol.
Yeah, it used to be the nip trick. You could bring the little guys.
Or, or you bring a bunch of those and nobody. In fact, a buddy of mine used to do it all the time.
Yeah, that was the way to go.
Because you saved, you don't pay the money. But most of the time, I don't know about you, it always ended up that because I fly so much. I don't know if I know this. I know a lot of the flight attendants. A lot of times I would get drinks and they wouldn't charge me for them because I knew people.
I got a good fare. I like. You get nice with the stewardess, and am I saying stewardess? Are we supposed to go?
I don't think we're supposed to.
Flight attendant. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then you'd order a beer, and all of a sudden, here's 2.
Yeah, here's a few more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because they don't account for those things.
Yeah, they don't care. They're cool. And if you're cool, they're cool.
Yep.
I've only had one. I was in first class, the one that cut me off. And
Really?
And I wasn't drunk. It was like, I think it was the it was a long flight. It was 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
I got 1, I got 2, and I went for the third. She goes, no, I think you've had enough. I go, whoa, wait, what?
Oh, and that'll incite you a little bit.
Well, what do you mean I've had enough? I go, I'm 53. I've had 2 drinks.
My biggest pet peeve with bartenders is you order a drink and they go, you get another one. I go, can I have another? You want one more? No, I don't want one more. I'm probably going to be here a little while. Yeah. Like, don't insinuate that I just only want one more. I can see what you're saying. And they don't mean it that way, but in my head, I'm like, she's on to me. She's on to me.
You're like, I have an authority thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a
it's a little
paranoia.
I always say, like, I could, like, if we were having dinner and someone's, and here's how bad I am. Like, I don't like to be told what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So someone can go, I can have dinner with somebody, and all my brothers have the same anchor. We have this Irish anchor.
Oh, yeah, same
You're
here.
Murphy, so it's the same. Okay, so we have the same standoffish anchor. We're like, what?
What does that
mean? So we get my brothers are roosters. The chest thing. Like what? So, but mine is like if we're having dinner and you go, hey, would you pass me the salt? I go, yeah, dude, no problem. Here you go. But if you go, give me the salt, hey, fuck you, get your own salt. You know?
It's all protocol. It's all the way. Like, yeah, it's something about paranoia. There's one of my favorite I think it's a Far Side cartoon, was a guy sitting next to a penguin on a plane. Yeah. And the guy nicely goes, first time flying? And the penguin goes, the fuck's that supposed to mean? That was always like an Irish penguin. It always cracked me up.
That's hilarious. That's classic. Oh man, that's awesome. So you've been stand up 15 years?
Yeah.
How long you been on shifts?
It was like 2.5 before COVID.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I have a cruise agent, and she doesn't do anything with my land gigs. It's the weird
agent?
D Mura.
Okay.
Some guys have her.
Okay.
I've known her for 5 years. I have never met her. She is just the voice on the phone.
Oh, right. That's cool.
It's almost like
really, you've never face to face.
Never face to face.
Really funny,
but it's like more about me, my problems. Like she's like a psychiatrist on the phone. I've never met her.
Is she really?
Yeah, it's like
that's
one of
cool.
because I'm bitch about the ship. You know, they're not doing this for me. And, well, you need to calm down, meditate. Like all kinds of calming things. Because she knows I'll flip a gasket once.
All right, good for her.
I'm a bitch. I'll complain.
Yeah,
I won't go to the point of like I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go on stage if I don't get this. But little things like
a Ray Charles move.
Little things that can be fixed is the thing. Like waiting a day and a half for a TV remote. That's gonna bug you a little bit.
Well, I'm giving a lot of leeway right now because of the relaunch.
It is, yeah.
So a lot of it I'm cool, but then when I'm cool, I want you to be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to go both ways. So I think everybody's trying to figure it out. I think it'll be better as time goes by. It helps that there's not that many people on the ship, though. I think that really helps.
Yeah, I think everything's going smoothly. Although one customer was upset walking by me and said, they're treating us like an experiment.
Oh, really?
The guy was pissed about it. Yesterday dinner was at 5. Today dinner's at 6. They're treating us like an experiment.
Dude, lighten up. Dude, there are some cranky people on the ship here.
Yeah. Some people come on just to be cranky.
Dude, I'm like, there's a couple guys during my shows like, dude, you're on vacation. This is a vacation. You could try to enjoy yourself.
How was Freeport? It sucked. Well, you could have read up on that.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
You're not going to paradise here.
Yeah, learn that next time. Yeah. I'll read up on it. Do the research on Freeport. By the way, I told you Freeport sucked for 3 shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I told you. Do you think I was lying to you?
Don't be optimistic about Nassau either, because guess what?
They tore down half of
Nassau.
I know.
You got a Froggies, you got a Sharkies, and here we go.
They got your U.S. staples, and that's it. You can go in there and drink like
get
American.
$12 Bud Light draft at Froggies or whatever it's called. Sun Your Frogs.
They make it sound cool, like it's tall. That sounds great. How much?
I can't imagine. We didn't get off, but it must have been just dead in there. Like the tourism thing just must suck over there.
I don't know. I always go to that area, that fish fry area we were talking about the other day, which is kind of farther to the right, because they have a couple of good restaurants over there.
I think they're doing well over at the Atlantis, and then the other one.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're getting a lot of tourists in there.
Yeah, I never go to the Atlantis.
I've never been over there either. Dude, there's not enough time, and
I heard when you go to Atlantis, like people go and sit at the beach.
Yeah, you can get a day pass.
Yeah, but they'll walk around and they sell shit, but they'll wake you up. If you're sleeping, they'll wake you up. They go, hey, we got shirts. You're like, oh, great.
Screw yourself.
Yeah, I'm sleeping, dude.
Yeah, I think you can get like a day pass to use the water slides and stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, which I guess is a pretty good deal, but it's also expensive over there.
Yeah.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to eat and everything else.
Well, yeah, I mean, Senor Frogs is also, it's like $15 for a chicken sandwich.
Anywhere you go in Nassau is a little overpriced. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever. That's why I like Mexico.
Cozumel.
You can make, dude, Cozumel and even Ensenada. I'm a big fan of Ensenada.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Ensenada. You can find little mom and pop places in there. I bring my 2 kids.
Yep.
We'll go in, have dinner, have a couple of drinks, and walk out there. $24.
And that's
okay.
a pretty safe place, right? Ensenada?
Yeah, Ensenada's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the closer to the water, the safer you are, I guess. Although it was in the second season of Narcos, they shot a bunch of stuff in Ensenada. Yeah, there's a whole. I didn't realize that the big cartels had their big meetings in Ensenada. It was at Hotel Ensenada because I was watching it and it said Ensenada. Like,
Yep.
oh, I didn't know they went.
I went for a walk in Ensenada to look for a GNC because I needed. I was using the gym at the time, but obviously I'm not anymore. Right. But I'm like, I didn't know. I'm like, maybe this is safe, maybe this isn't safe. But it was like a 1.5 mile walk.
Yeah.
But
well, there's a city area to the left, and I went to buy a pair of shoes once and walked all over the place. And the farther you walk in, the less English there is, and the more, But that city's gotten better. When I first started going there, that Ensenada was terrible. There was nothing there. It was just an armpit.
What is the main thing for cruise goers to do there? Just
Well,
shop?
you know what? It's just a port city to go to, and there's a ton of places to get good seafood.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cool food, and then they do. You know what's big there? There's a water hole there, or a water spout that they have that people go to, but you have to take a bus to it. It's pretty cool. It's like a landmark. And there's also a museum right near the port, which is actually really cool. It shows the history of Ensenada in Mexico. So that's pretty cool.
I'll be there in November. So.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be there in November.
I'm doing
what ship are you on?
Horizon? That sound right?
Oh, Panorama?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll be.
I never know the
other
names.
Ship. I'll be on the. There's 2 of the ship. The Miracle first is going there, and then I'm on the relaunch or the launch of the Radiance in December.
Okay, I'll be there for 2 weeks. But yeah, I always liked with the little island there. What's the
Catalina? Yeah,
it's a good little spot.
My daughters love that. Well, there was when they were little, I had them for the divorce. I had them for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So the deal was either bring them with me on the cruise or don't work. So I always worked out a deal to bring them with me.
Yep.
Carnival usually worked with me on it. They were really good about that. So, but those kids, my kids did that Ensenada Catalina run 15 times.
When you bring kids along, do they stay in the cabin with you, or they?
Well, both times what they did for me was they gave the girls their own cabin upstairs.
Oh, nice.
And then they let me stay in the cabin with the girls. And technically they're not supposed to do that, but they just did it. They're usually really cool when it comes to family stuff.
Yep.
Every once in a while though, man, there's a guy that's got to show he's in charge of something.
Yep.
And he's like, well, that's against policy. I go, yeah, but I do it all the time. I don't know if it's an issue. Now it won't matter because one of them is they're older, over 18. Anna's 20 now. So now she gets a cabin and Lily stays with her. Plus we can't bring family right now. It's going to be a while before I think we can all as crew and guest entertainers. But I don't care because my daughter will just buy her own cruise and then they'll just cruise when I'm working.
It's like what, $60 or something right now
for that one year for the weekend. It costs nothing. So we'll go. They'll hang out and and they have a list of things they do. There's a coffee shop they go to in Ensenada or in Catalina and all that stuff.
What else is open now? I think St. Martin's still closed, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
That's
too.
a good spot. I like
the
St. Martin.
Bahamas are open. Cozumel, obviously.
Yep.
Costa Maya. Alaska. I was just in Alaska for a month, so people are going up there.
Are they stopping in Victoria?
No, they're not. They gave a pass in the Jones Law for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
Until Canada figured out what they wanted to do, and then I heard that Canada wanted to open back up. Because they're taking a hit, man. Whoever's not taking it, and I get they're trying to stay safe and all that stuff, but then I heard that maybe they wouldn't open them up at all again, and they should reevaluate that Jones Act.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
it's from what, the 1840s or something, right?
Right. There's a lot of maritime laws that don't make any sense, and for freight, I understand it because they don't want freight to leave. It even doesn't make sense to me. I guess the way they do it is because you can't leave a U.S. port and go to another U.S. port. It's a union thing or something. So I don't get it. But I don't get why you can't. You know what I mean? Part of it is also they don't want foreign, if you're not a U.S. citizen, to go from one city to another. And I don't understand the rule.
Stuff over my head.
Yeah, whatever it is, it all comes down to somebody would lose money.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. So, but then when the cruise line started losing money, they were like, whoa, maybe that's more money than this money. Our money's more important. It really only matters whose money is getting lost. Yeah, right.
I loved Victoria because it was usually when I did the Alaska twice, it was the day off. So it was just go be free and not worry about it.
Every time I did Victoria, we always left early.
Oh, we were there till 10 p.m.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because it was usually hit on the way home, and then Seattle's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So,
well, we were there a couple times and we had to leave by 6. We were only there for 4 hours. Like dinner. We went and had dinner and left and went back.
Yeah, it was good. One of my favorite traveling days with ships was the day before I got on the Alaska cruise, having a whole full day in Seattle.
Yeah,
that was a good time, and I just kind of did a little bar crawl and found my way all the way at the baseball stadium, whatever it's called now.
right.
Used to be Safeco, but whatever it is now.
And
And there was a game that night.
Yeah.
And I went to buy a ticket, and I'm like, can I get section ball? She goes, just here's the ticket. Go on in.
Oh,
There
right
was like 8,000 people there, or something like that.
Oh, that's great.
I could sit
man.
wherever I
love
wanted.
that.
I stayed for like 6 innings. It was like $12 a ticket or something, and then just went back to my hotel.
I used to do that. I used to live in Wrigleyville. They would do that at Wrigley, where if you went in, anything after the 6th inning,
Yep.
they just opened the door like, whatever, come on in. You just walk in.
I'm not used to that. Fenway's always usually pretty jammed.
Right.
I grew up. My father was a Boston cop. He used to do the detail at Fenway,
Oh yeah, right.
so I got into games for free for
that's
pretty much
sweet.
my whole life.
Dude, that's really cool.
It was really cool as a kid, yeah. And they would back in that day there was scalpers, and they were trying to bust on scalpers. Now they don't give a crap about anything.
Yeah.
So they would bust scalpers during the game or before the game, and I'd have like 3 sets of tickets.
Right,
I
right.
could go sit up here. I could go sit over here because they already confiscated the tickets. Now they're mine.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
it was pretty cool. You could move around.
Dude, that's very cool.
Yeah, it was
Sweet.
awesome.
I've never been to Fenway.
You don't need to. You got go once.
Oh really? Well, I'll go once.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Is it really?
Yeah, it really is, and it's sacrilegious to say it, but a lot of the city thinks so.
Yeah.
It's old.
Yeah, it is old.
The seats are tight. Half the seats are facing the wrong way.
Right.
Like you
well,
have
it's
to
like
look,
old.
yeah.
I remember old Comiskey.
Yeah.
You know, as a Sox fan, the old Comiskey, it was a square.
Yeah.
So there were times when I was facing the left field bleachers.
Yeah, and you have to look left to see
and there was a pillar to my right.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh, yeah.
constantly trying to. Yeah, those old stadiums were built like squares, like gyms.
and then they charge the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So and you can't park. You can't drive there. Parking's like $85.
Right.
$100. So
Yeah, they redid that whole Wrigley area.
yeah, I've never been. I gotta go.
Okay, that's another one that it used to. Wrigley was like that too,
Yep.
but then they remodeled a lot of the stadium. They put that museum next to it, and now there's this whole area that's the Wrigley area, and so now it's like this huge. Well, I lived there for a while, dude. I had a buddy. This is brilliant. This guy lived next door to me. His name was Mike, and he owned the building. He owned the building, and it was a kind of. They have a lot of buildings in Chicago. They probably have similar buildings in Boston, where it's land. And it's an apartment. It's a like a triplex, 3 apartments.
Yeah.
And then 3 apartments here, and then a courtyard in the middle.
Okay.
So he had like 2 buildings. So he was renting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, and lived on the top floor
Perfect.
of the 3rd place. His dad passed away, gave him the building, and he owns this building in Wrigleyville. And now to buy property in Wrigleyville is ridiculous.
Millions and millions of dollars.
The
Yeah.
rent there is insane. So
Yep.
he's like, he had it made. He's like, man, I'm never selling this. I'm never selling this place. He's a Cub fan. He
Yeah.
sits on the roof.
I was gonna say, did they have that roof across the street? Didn't they give them a bunch of trouble there for a
Yeah,
while?
there was a lot of corporations bought a lot of those rooftops, and the deal used to be like I knew a couple guys that owned buildings in Sheffield, and we used to go watch games on the roof because the deal is it used to be if you they turned into condos, they weren't apartments anymore. But if you bought a condo, you got 2 or 3 seats on the roof.
Yep.
And that's why it's ridiculous. There's one building there that was empty for like 3 years because they charged so much money for it that people are like, I'm not paying. There's no way I'm doing that. But then a lot of companies own the roof. What happened was the company started owning the rooftops, and then they started making money off of the rooftops selling. And they would have these deals where you could go out there and pay. At the time, it was like $50 for all you could eat, all you could drink, and they had a bunch of beer,
Sold.
and hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And you go up and you sit down. You could sit in the stands and watch the game. You could sit in a patio table behind.
Yeah.
But then the Cubs were like, "Screw that! You're not making money off us without getting anything out of it." So they blocked the view for a while. They're gonna block.
They put a
this view.
screen up.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're going to block this view. So then they worked out a deal where they get a percentage of the money now. I don't know how it ended up in the back end.
Yeah.
But now you can still see it because it was for when I was a little kid, I was a Cubs fan. I changed in '77. I became a Sox fan in '77. My dad was a diehard Cub fan.
Yep.
But that's back when anybody can go up on the roof. You know,
Yeah.
if you lived in an apartment building, you bring friends, let's go to the roof, and you should set up a lawn chair and people watched it.
It's kind of scary nowadays to think with evil and shootings and stuff. What could have been accomplished back then?
Yeah, right.
With like a rifle.
Yeah.
Like,
But I don't know.
Andre Dawson up to bat. Sorry.
I don't know. I know, right? I don't know if it's like sometimes I'm not sure if it's that we didn't think that way back then, or we just didn't have the access.
Yeah.
Or because you look back at it now, it's the first thing you think of.
Oh yeah.
You think of, you know what I mean?
I'm super weird like that. I'm never gonna do anything awful, like do that, but I drive around and I'll be like, that'd be a good spot.
Yeah.
That gets me to stop doing that. Like, if I was ever going to, it would take them a while to get to me up there.
Right.
And it's like this creepy thing in my head.
I could let myself in here. They'll never know.
It's almost the Grand Theft Auto thing.
Yeah.
Where I would play in that video game. I didn't even play the missions. I would just go out and just
shoot.
get rid of some tension and just take it out on people. And wait for the police to come.
Well, dude, there's that guy in Vegas that shot up that country.
Unbelievable.
Thing, and he brought a ton of weapons up there. He was just locked in there and just went at it.
Something he shot through the glass and just teed off from up there.
Kept going. Yeah.
And that's kind of strange how that story kind of went just right under the rug.
Yeah.
They didn't really. There was like a hint of that he maybe worked for the government, like a spook of some sort, and then all of a sudden.
Because he got killed, right? He
got killed, and then like 2 days later they got his brother for child porn.
Really?
Oh yeah. So that seemed almost like a
this is all
shut your mouth, go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got. If you look at, it's not like a deep state thing, but
No.
I think he was documented as working for one of the government companies.
No, I heard about that. I did hear that because I also heard he'd scoped out other areas. And he was going to go to Lala, and I know this because my daughter was there that day. So the day that he was going to go there was the day that this happened. So she freaked. She told me, she's like, oh my God, it was almost, But you're right. It just kind of ended up I heard he worked for some sort of government something.
Yeah, I forget the name of the company. It's one of the big companies that makes all like the jets and stuff.
That's great.
Yeah.
He made it go away.
What was he, Mandalay Bay? Is that what that was?
I think it was Mandalay Bay. It was messed up. I talked to people that were there.
But like,
it was,
and COVID happened, and that feels like it happened 10 years ago. Like, COVID just wiped out memory.
did it?
Like everything feels like it was.
Everything got shut down.
Yeah, like Tiger King feels like it was 4 years ago.
It does, doesn't it? And that's all everybody talked about for like 3 months. That's all they talked about.
It was just at the beginning.
I always think, I was doing a joke for a while that 2020 was like a 2020 was like a bad layover on a long flight.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I mean? Because I literally forget about the year sometimes. Because I'll go, I was in Vegas last year.
Nope.
Shit. No, it was 2 years ago. So
I'll admit it. I was working a lot from the ships, home and back, home and out, home and out, home and out. So when it first hit, I was like, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
For like a month. It was like, oh, okay. I can be home for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it just snowballed where this sucks. Get me out of here.
Well, we all did that because I had my kids with me.
Yeah.
And then my youngest moved in. I got my youngest right when the shutdown started. So the first 2 months, we hung out. I spent more time with them than I have in years,
Yep.
So, but then after a while, you're like, then you're like, wow, this might last longer than I thought. And then around November, I'm like, oh my God, I might need to find another career because I don't know where I'm ever going to get back to work.
I know that the shit was real bad when they canceled the St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston.
Yeah.
And that's now we're talking serious. Then they canceled the marathon.
Well, March Madness, they canceled. When they started doing all that crap, you're like, oh my God, this is... Once they start losing money, bro, once these companies are like, we're just going to let it, we're going to... even the stadiums, the basketball teams, no fans in the stands for a long time. Baseball, no fans. The baseball season with no fans is insane.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Watching the Stanley Cup finals with nobody there.
Yeah. And the crowd noise was annoying. But, I mean, whatever,
But they're still not back. I know the broadcasters for the Red Sox don't travel.
Sox broadcast, they bitched about that earlier this year. They don't travel to the away games. They were mad about it. It was Steve Stone and I can't remember the other guy that's the announcer. But he's like, it's ridiculous to not be there.
Yeah.
And it was when I watched the Dodgers in the World Series, it was Charlie Steiner was doing the play-by-play for He's their Dodger announcer.
Oh, he's there now?
Yeah.
In the Yankees for a little while? Was that?
I thought he was with San Francisco. I don't know, but I think either way, my buddy's like, he's doing a pretty good job. And I like Charlie Steiner, but I was like, he's doing a horrible job. It sounds like he's laying on his couch announcing the game.
And it's like a little bit later because they're seeing the same thing we are.
Then he's like, there's a hit. That's a fly ball. And Jackson, it's a home run. It's gone. That's a 3-run.
It sucks because, you see a hit on TV and you're like, that's gone. Yeah. But then you see where the outfielder is. But that's what they're getting. At least in the ballpark, they know. You know when it's gone.
Yeah.
So they lost that aspect of it.
Plus, dude, I've learned as I've gotten older, my eyes are bad because I used to play softball, and I had to stop playing softball because every fly ball to left field, I couldn't track it.
I just retired.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I played baseball my whole life. I played, Legion ball, and
did you really?
Yeah, and then I played a little bit of it was called Park League, which is like a amateur.
What'd you play? What position?
Catcher.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. All right.
So I knew the sport. I coached and everything.
Right.
So I'm playing softball. I'm the oldest guy in the team, and I don't really move around a lot. So I was catching, bases loaded, right?
It's a perfect position.
Bases loaded. All you do is pick up the ball and throw the ball back. That's all you have to do. So the bases loaded, and like Lester was like one out, and the kid in third base, the young kid, stopped like before the pitch. He goes, "Hey, bases loaded. We're gonna come to you. All you have to do is step on the plate for the force."
Yeah.
And it was like, this is what you think of me?
Yeah.
You need to explain the rules to me.
rules?
That's the athleticism I'm giving off. So I just retired. I'm like, it's not for me.
Dude, I retired. There were 2 plays I played. It was softball.
Yeah.
Softball, and it was 12-inch. We played both 12 and 16. Chicago played 16. And there was 16 in L.A. for a while because the guy that started the league out there. And it was fun.
Is it hard or unlimited arc? What do you guys play?
Oh, we on the 12, on the couple of the 12s I played was unlimited arc.
Yeah.
And I could never.
It's tough.
I really had a hard time with that. But there was one that was just a bunch of comics and writers that got together and we played a game every Sunday.
Yep.
And it was fun. And we just kind of hung out. And some of the guys were really good. We had guys that played that were Brody Stevens played.
Oh yeah.
You know, and a lot of guys that used to play minor league baseball
Yep.
showed up, and some guys that were really good athletes, and then guys like me, and then guys like my buddy Bees that was 10 years older than me, and
Yep.
we're just playing, drinking. Some guys were stoned, drinking beer. Some guys played or whatever. So I'm playing two. There were 2 games that one is there's a kid named Kieran that played for us, and he was in the minor league system for a while, and he was playing right field. He's in right center, right, and I bet righty.
Yep.
So I pop something up the right field line, right, just over the first baseman's head. I go, oh, that's a sweet spot for me because there's nobody over there. So I run to first base, and I'm rounding first base, and I get halfway to second. I look, and Kieran he's at least 20 yards away from the ball. So I go, I'm going to third. I hit second, take 3 steps, and the ball comes. The guy catches it by 12 feet. I just stop. I turn around and look at Kieran. He's just shrugging. I go, I made a terrible mistake. I should have done that.
We had a Boston Comedy Softball League for it's still going, but not many people play. But it was a Tuesday night league.
Yeah.
5 different teams. Each team was represented by a comedy club.
Really?
It was pretty detailed.
Cool.
Yeah, it was funny, but with a tinge of like seriousness.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
People got into it. Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of Boston guys that played in our game. We had Paul Murray, Paul. Damn it.
Older guy?
No, younger guy. Paulie. Yeah, it was Paulie. Damn it. I want to say Paul Murray. He was a screenwriter.
Okay.
He did a movie called Very Mean Men, which he shot back in Boston. Dude, he's a classic Boston Red Sox fan too. He's a great. I watched the year the Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees in that series.
Yep.
Was the last game we watched. He did a screening of his movie Very Mean Men at a theater in L.A. or at the M Bar, this bar, and it was pouring rain in L.A. and everybody was inside watching the movie, and I was outside with Paul in an umbrella watching the game on a little screen, and he's watching it. And that game, the Red Sox were up like 7 or 8 runs. So he's classic Red Sox fan. They're up like 8 runs.
I already know where you're going.
In the 9th inning or whatever, somebody like Jeter gets a hit. And he goes, fuck, here we go. I go, you're up by 8. He goes, no, this is how they killed me.
That was every single bar room in Boston at the time, and I know what it was. They Pedro had gotten the shit kicked out of him during the series.
Yeah.
And they were up a lot. They brought Pedro in.
Yeah.
And he gives up 2 hits, and everyone was going, "What the fuck are we
what are
doing?
you doing?
We've already been down this road before."
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen that time. Yeah, I was 21 years old. That was the perfect time to be 21.
Yeah, that was
everything
very cool.
happened right at that. Like, drinking was awesome, and
Yeah.
it was really cool in the city.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like when we were talking yesterday when the Bulls had their run.
Yeah.
I was in my, I think it was in my, let's see, this is in the 90s, so this is 30 years ago, right? So yeah, I'm in my 20s.
It was like 91 was the first.
Yeah, I was married. My wife worked at one bar, and my buddy, another comic, Steve Seagren, his girlfriend worked at another bar.
Okay.
And we basically just bounced between bars to watch the games. And every Chicago comic, most of us would book our gigs around the playoffs and stuff. Because first of all, there's nothing going on in the city but the games. So you couldn't play. If you played Zanies, it was stupid. You know what I mean?
Same thing we went through.
Yeah, so what we did, and we had a great conversation. One day we were talking about it, and we were with a guy from Detroit, and this is before the season started, and Steve goes, are you going to be in town for the games or for the parade? And I was like, screw the parade. I don't care. I want to see the games. So, and the guy's like, what are you talking about? I go, well, we're talking about the championship, the NBA, the championship in June. It'll be June. And he's like, aren't you guys getting ahead of yourselves? The season hasn't even started yet. And he's like, no.
It's inevitable.
Not at all.
Yep.
And that was a great time in Chicago because you knew, it was like you're being a Patriot fan.
So that was
you
Patriots
knew they were going to win.
Every time the playoffs would start, with they do the seedings wherever the Patriots were, first seed, whatever,
Right.
and then you'd wait for the schedule, and then inevitably be Patriots Saturday night game at 8:00, and you're like, fuck, there goes a gig. No one's they're gonna cancel that. And that went on for like 15 years, and it's a sad. It sounds stupid to be sad, not sad, but mad about that, but. That's what we're dealing with.
But the funny was because I knew the club owners were the ones. Son of a bitch.
Yep.
They were like a football game. At least that's one game that kind of that hurts you.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
But basketball and baseball, like Bert, my buddy Bert, they ran the Funny Bone in April and stuff. He's like, oh, I love the Bulls, but shit. He goes, my whole June is shot because it's like a whole month now it's shot.
My buddy's wedding was Game 1 Red Sox Cardinals World Series in that 04.
Really?
Yeah, and we were at this big ballroom up in New Hampshire. It was actually, I think it's the place they filmed The Shining, or the out something. It has something to do with The Shining. Huge hotel, ballroom's on one side, and then there's this bar like a football field away. On the other side. Yeah. And at one point there were like 6 or 7 guys way down there. We feel this presence behind us. We're all watching the game, and it's the groom. Guys, this is unacceptable. It was like getting caught. We all had to walk back.
I agree. You should never plan a wedding during the Game 1 of the World Series.
We had shuffles going back, and like people were going back and forth. If it was like the second time they won it, who gives a shit? But my eyes have never seen them in a World Series, so I was fascinated. It was really something. So just bad luck.
Yeah, dude, I do. When the Sox won in 05, the White Sox, I remember. In fact, I was just talking to buddies making plans for this next week. I watched the first round of the playoffs at bars in LA with buddies,
and they beat the Red Sox.
Right? And then when they beat Anaheim, we watched the bar games, but the games in Anaheim we were at those games, so I saw them win the pennant. Which was great. There was a bunch of people. It was all Chicago people. They let us stay. Anaheim was really cool about it. They let us stay behind, and every White Sox player was there, dude. Minnie Minoso,
awesome.
Black, all these guys come and hang, and high fiving the fans and taking pictures. I got a hook on to pictures and stuff. And then, but when they win the World Series, I had a gig. I was traveling. I go, the only chance of me seeing them win the World Series would be if they sweep. So I would deal with between gigs. I flew into Chicago, south to Midway. Buddy picked me up. We went to TC's Pub, which is his cousin's bar, and it was Game 4, and that they won. That was the only night that I got to see him in Chicago. So I got to see him win the game in Chicago on the south side of Chicago. I was home. It was
awesome.
It was amazing.
Who did they beat again?
Houston.
Houston, that's right.
Houston, yeah, they were. It was great. The Sox pitching through the whole series, all the playoffs. It was like 2.14 ERA. I mean, they were insane. It was great. And for you, but it was the cool thing was I was there, and my buddy's dad was there, and the older people were, the more they cried when this happened, because it was his dad looked at me and goes, man, he goes, I was at the game that they lost in '59 to the Dodgers, because I remember that game as a little boy. He goes, and I go, I remember saying they'll be back someday, because I just didn't think it would be 45 years, 50 something years later.
That's the thing with Boston. It was like we're spoiled brats now. We really are.
Yeah, it's amazing how the flip came.
I hate our fans now. Like we're so spoiled. We won. Bruins won in Patriots won 01 and then 03. Red Sox 04.
Right.
Patriots. It was like Bruins. Celtics jumped in.
Sure.
Like everybody won for like a 15-year presence.
Right.
And now the Patriots had one losing season, and it's fire Belichick. He sucks. He can't coach. Oh, it's amazing. He can't draft. He can't pick players.
Yeah.
He's done. Fire him. It was always Brady, and you just idiots. And it's most of them are media members that just. It's more fun to be negative.
Well, there's more money in it, dude. Yeah. You generate interest and viewership for the bitch, and no one's going to be like, everybody stay calm.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. We've get through. This is the first time he's had to rebuild since,
The media ran Brady out of town, in my mind.
Yeah.
He got so much negative press from his own people.
I can't believe, how is that
Every
possible?
little thing the guy did. They would tinker him with his fundraisers, his foundations. They said the money was going different ways. Because he's in shape. They were making fun of his diet. Imagine that. An athlete that wants to be in specific shape. They're like, well, he's got a weird diet. Look,
what do you care?
Exactly.
He's bringing you titles every year.
He's got this diet where I'm sure you've looked into it or heard about it, where he only eats certain things. Like he doesn't eat nightshades, like
really
tomatoes.
Strict, yeah.
And it's because he did studies to find out what your body.
It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
He works with a nutritionist and a trainer. He doesn't fuck around with those
So these guys, these radio guys will make fun of it in one segment. The next segment on commercial, they're doing ads for Awaken 180 fat loss. Like, fucking idiot. You know what that is? They find out what your body doesn't like, and then you eat that.
Yeah, right.
So it's like the hypocritical thing. We have 2 radio stations that in Boston.
Right.
There's no need for that.
Right.
and they just
The sports radio stations.
Yeah,
We have that. In
they both
Chicago.
they both pretend like they don't exist. They don't
Right.
talk about each other. The station across the street. Like there's
Right.
no be a rival then. You know,
Yeah.
make fun of each other. They all know each other. They're all work together.
We have the score, and then we have the WMVP, which is the ESPN thing or whatever.
Okay.
So, but it's the same. It's the same thing. But they're the opposite. They're like the Bulls. You're sacred. It's almost like a college town to where if you succeed and you're successful, they're all over you. You're a hero. They would never knock you down. But the second you fail,
Yeah.
they're all over you.
No,
they're brutal.
Even in the heyday, they were going at Patriots, Belichick.
That
and-
blows me away.
Yeah.
I can't understand that because I can't listen to Chicago radio now because they'll talk about what's wrong with the Bears. I'm like, I can't listen. I know. I get it. I know there's a lot wrong with the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear it every day. You know.
I was listening to Stephen A. Smith go on a rant this morning as I was waking up. Oh, he was just yelling. It's the worst thing to put on if you're going to fall asleep to the
Dude,
TV.
I can't. He's got three volumes, and I don't understand why he doesn't pick one, or at least you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. He's got that dramatic where he asks my question, and he's all. Here's what I think. You know, and then
Get
5
ready
minutes
for
later,
this.
it's like, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? I can't stand that guy. He's the one guy, the only guy in ESPN I just can't.
Yeah,
well,
he's-
ESPN's got a habit of because they're a Disney company.
Yep.
People get really good. They run them out of there.
Yep.
You know, look how many guys have left. Is Van Pelt still there, or did he leave? He's still there.
He's still there, but he does like midnights. He doesn't really do much.
Yeah, but Scott Van Pelt, and then the guy that just left was
Cowherd there for a while too. Was he an ESPN
I
guy?
think Colin Collar left for a while. I don't like him though.
He's a little too much for me.
Dude, he said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. He said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a sports guy say. It was after Mark Burley threw his perfect game, right? And I'm listening to his show. I used to listen to him all the time. And he said one thing that was right, which is throwing a perfect game or a no-hitter doesn't make you a great pitcher. And I go, that can make sense. There's a lot of guys who...
Well, still the no hitter, but
Yeah, I guess
no
so.
hitter's kind of fluky.
Okay.
In a way.
Yeah, it is. In a way, it is.
Yeah.
And you're right because there's a lot of guys that have no hitters and they're not
Yeah.
not great. And there's a lot of great pitchers who never really had a no hitter or whatever. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But he did say he equaled a no hitter to getting a hole in one. And I go, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. A hole in one is one swing.
Yep.
Just one swing.
Yep.
And at the very least, a no hitter, you still have to get 27 major league
Yeah.
hitters out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he argued it the whole time in his show, and I'm like, this is the stupidest.
It would be more of a analogy to say he birdied every hole. You know.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Yeah, that would be a better
Yeah.
analogy because it's more of an effort. Plus, with a no hitter, I mean, I know guys have good days. And
Well, I mean,
teams
like I
have
just
bad
said,
days.
I said it's fluky, but then you look at a guy like Nolan Ryan who has he had like seven. Like that's probably not a fluke in that.
Yeah. Well, that guy was on. He was on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him pitch a game. I've seen him pitch a few games.
He threw like 85 a couple years ago, throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah. Right.
What the hell was Robin Young thinking? Do you remember charging the
Ventura.
Robin
No,
Ventura? Robin Ventura.
White Sox, dude, I remember that one. Dude, if you watch that clip, you can see the look on his face when he gets halfway to the mound
Like,
and he
what
realizes, oh, I totally screwed this up.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall. in the
Ryan
lo-
is just like, hey, you doing?
Yeah.
What's up? Or he's a country guy. He's
It's like fighting Clint Eastwood.
hey, Robin.
And then he was the GM for the White Sox, wasn't he?
No, he was. Oh, Robin was the manager for the
manager of the White Sox, and,
Yeah.
and Nolan was the GM for the Rangers.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think they met each other at like a game, and it was like
Yeah.
they were fine with it.
Yeah,
but-
of course. But even Robin, Robin tells a story now. It was a stupid. Oh crap, my camera went out. When did that happen? You know what? It was a heat thing. Oh, that's awesome.
We were talking
to
to
you. Hold on. This will be great. Yeah, I froze at some point. We're still recording though.
Okay, talk.
Hang on, I'm just gonna change the camera feed. This is hilarious. This will be classic because my show usually, for years, all my show was me screwing up.
I don't know any. I have no idea what you've got going on here. This is
Look, hey, I'm back. It's gonna be awkward now, but I can't move anything. I don't know when we lost the feed,
I think we were talking baseball.
but I'm back. But you know what? I'll just have you. I'll have you the whole time. That'll be
The
great.
camera got bored with baseball talk and
I
said,
don't know
"Fuck
when
this,
it
I'm out of
happened.
here."
I'm gonna have to figure it out. The camera. I knew it was gonna think. Yeah, that's great. This is not enough. Yeah, there's a lot of sports for this show, but whatever.
Yeah, that's.
I don't care.
I usually
It's fine.
go
It's my
sports.
show. I did Vince Morano. I don't know if you know, he's a Chicago guy.
Nope.
We talked Blackhawks for forever. You know what I mean? He's a big Blackhawk fan.
It's how,
So-
there's really nothing more to me than eating food, sports, and
There's a little
that's
bit.
about
There's
it.
some beer.
Yeah, I love my
content.
beer.
Yeah, that's it.
You got me drinking hard alcohol this week. I normally don't do that.
Yeah, but the beer, I get bloated on the beer, man.
The alchemy, yeah, it's just
Well, they make the best.
it's a
drink
safe
on the
spot.
ship.
It's our safe spot.
It's the only
so-
safe spot. It's the only place you can sit down and drink without somebody going, "What do you guys?
Yep.
You know, you guys are doing. Maybe you don't remember the rules."
You don't remember the rules, Mr. Murphy. I know the rules, asshole.
I'll do, dude. I don't know how much of the rules stuff I'll keep in here. I'll keep a lot of it. But there's a guy named Alan Mingo that I interviewed. He's on Norwegian, and he's the lead in Kinky Boots.
Oh, okay.
And we spent maybe 15, 20 minutes talking about security and the whole thing. And afterwards, I go, I might cut some of that stuff out. It's just a lot of the same. People don't. I mean, I want to leave it in because it would be nice for people to know some of the rules you have to deal with.
I forgot about some of the stuff I liked. Like tomorrow or Sunday when I leave, I used to like watching the. You'd see the customs come on, and then they'd leave with a guy from the cruise.
Right.
Because we didn't pass customs on the way in.
Right.
Some kind of warrant or something like that. You always see like one or two getting.
Oh, there's a guy in handcuffs.
Oh, I've seen it twice, two or three times. Yeah.
What happens at that? Happens at that 3-day Ensenada cruise all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they bust guys with. You know what they do is they bust guys with drugs on the ship.
A lot of times like child support stuff like that too.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard child support and big time. They nail guys constantly coming back in. So I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know why you think you're.
I like how they, one last fling. Go have a vacation. We'll get you on the way back. Like they don't get you in customs on the way out. Like, go have a good time.
Right, enjoy yourself. You're gonna be locked
Don't
up.
worry about your car.
Enjoy the tacos.
Your car's fine. We'll see you when you get back.
I recommend the ceviche. It'll be great. Have some of that. We'll be right here.
The first time in New Orleans, though, you've done this before.
Yeah, I done last time when I did this. First time I did this ship, I had a buddy that was in town for the weekend, and I flew in the night before. So I did a whole night in New Orleans.
Did you fly in day of for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah, I love New Orleans, dude. I'm a big food guy. My whole thing is just I find a good place to eat and drink. That's all I care about when I go to any of these ports. I'm like museums. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
like, where can you get a sandwich?
I kind of enjoy the night before when they put you up because it's kind of relaxing. You can,
I love it. Actually.
You can kind of set yourself up, but then it normally you have to miss a Saturday, so you miss a gig.
Yeah.
But it's give and take. I would have been happy staying over in New Orleans. I think.
Right.
And I think Galveston is my next one. They put me up, and I heard that's kind of nice.
Oh, cool. Right.
Yeah. Unless they put me in Houston, I don't know if they're doing that. That's like an hour ride.
Right. Well, you don't fly into Houston, do you?
You do.
You fly into Houston, right? And take that the bus.
I took the bus home from the Breeze. I was on there with Kelly Terranova.
Right.
And the big, huge bus that they bring you back to the airport in had no air conditioning, and it was the most miserable.
No air.
No air. No air at all.
Nobody cares what I look like.
And it was just me and Kelly were just like wet, soaking wet.
It's a long ride.
It was a long ride.
40-minute ride.
Yeah. And they were like, sorry, no air. Like a bunch of people just breathing on each other. And you just want to go home.
Dude, I was during the hurricane, one of the hurricanes, I can't remember which one, but this particular one, ships got deviated, not only off route, but they ended up in ports they weren't supposed to be in, and things just got weird. So we're in, I want to say we're in Jacksonville, and I come in on one ship, and it was so crazy that I was having, there were 4 comics in the ship or whatever, and they go, we need 2 to stay and 2 are leaving. So that morning they go, you're staying. I go, okay. So I go up to have breakfast and my phone rings. Hello. And it's the head of entertainment. It's John from the corporate office. He's like, what are you doing? I go, I'm eating breakfast. He goes, what are you doing on the ship in the next week? I go, I think I'm staying. He goes, no, you're leaving. I go, oh, shit. Okay, well, I got to go. And he goes, can you walk across the port and just get on the Splendor? And he goes, you'll just be there 3 days because I lost a gig because of the deviation. Then I picked this one up. So he goes, just go there. The ship will stay there like a hotel because it can't go anywhere. But then we'll have entertainment for people. So you do 5 shows. I go, yeah, I can do that. That's cool. So I ran downstairs, packed my stuff, walk across. And in that particular port, the way customs was, they made everybody get off the ship. The ship would come in. Everybody's waiting in that terminal in Jacksonville with no air. And because everything's down because of the hurricane. So, I mean, it is hot. People are mad.
Oh, swamp hot.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that Florida, horrible. And I'm walking through. I walk right past everybody. I'm like, and get right on the ship, And I walk in, and they tell me what's going on. They go, we're going to do 5 shows, blah, blah, blah. So, I drop my stuff off. I come down. I'm in the commons area, and I'm talking to the ED, who's a friend of mine. And she goes, and they come by, and they tell us, hey, everyone's getting back on the ship. However, if someone has a flight tomorrow, if someone has a flight before Wednesday at 12, they've got to get off the ship today because we can't, because there's some sort of law or customs or whatever. I go, so all these people are getting back on the ship and they think they're going to just stay here for like 2 days, but you're going to tell half of them that they got to leave immediately. They go, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I go, I'm going to my cabin. So, I don't want to be anywhere around this train wreck. And they're like, bye. This is going to be the worst afternoon for them ever to tell all these people.
I think it was Royal that did it to me. I was doing a back-to-back out of Fort Lauderdale, and they made me get off at like 7 in the morning on a Sunday. and I couldn't re-enter because I'm a guest entertainer, technically a guest. I could only re-enter with the guests when they started letting them in.
Okay.
Like at noon. So here I am at Fort Lauderdale Terminal, which is near fucking nothing.
Right.
At 7 a.m. with nothing's open.
Right.
On a Sunday, and it just went for what was I gonna do? I tried to sleep in the lobby. Like it was. I'm like, can I just go back on? I'm living here.
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir. Customs. I'm like,
yeah, some of those laws and rules I don't get, man.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. Well, all right. So you're from Boston originally. We're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
So we're pretty much there. What?
and we're having dinner tonight.
We are, dude. 7:00. Do
Okay.
you know where Cabin Solano's in?
No,
You know
I think he's in the 4s though.
Yeah, he's around me.
I
here.
surprised myself finding this.
Did you?
Came right back to me. Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Because it's buried too. I'm
Yeah.
kind of back in the corner.
I've stayed not in the ship, but the same ship.
Right.
This forward stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna have. You don't know where Paul's at, do you?
I know. I think he's in this neighborhood though.
He was in our neighborhood.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, but he was going to switch today to
Okay.
come over and take one of these other cabins that they showed me yesterday.
Maybe Paul knows.
I got to find Solano. I don't know.
Well,
he
if we're meeting 7:00 at the dining room, so
that's the plan, but I don't think I got the information to Paul or to Solano. But I'm sure Paul knows it. Screw it. We just meet at 7.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
yeah, they'll be here.
I'm starving now too.
I haven't eaten all day. I've been waiting.
I know. Me too. I save it up. If I'm gonna have a real meal, I'm gonna sit down. And, let's do this.
You know what? I find myself doing that too on the ship. Like you said, fasting, but I'm not doing it on purpose. I eat like a snake. I have like one meal.
Really? Well, I do one meal now
Yeah.
too. Because there's food up there everywhere. And you know what it is? The late nights are killing me. Like last night we went out, I didn't get pizza. I'm like, I can't get pizza at 2 in the morning anymore.
There was a woman at a show, and she said she was on a diet. I'm like, what are you thinking? Going on vacation?
Yeah.
On the food ship.
Yeah, on the food shop.
I mean, that salad. How do you eat that salad every day?
Yeah. Well, I generally, after the first couple of weeks on ships, I learned to eat really well.
Yeah.
I eat better on a ship because
I'm more. So this is my first one. Obviously, when I start getting in a groove, I'll be
Yeah.
back in the gym.
Yeah.
Just to eat up time to do something.
Yeah. Because the food is good, but you know what it is? It's the sauces, and there's a lot of sodium and everything. So you get so I try to eat a lot of raw vegetables and a little bit of protein.
Yeah.
Now,
COVID screwed me up like everyone else because the gyms were closed.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying a bench which was super hard to find because everyone was doing the same
Everybody was
thing.
buying a bench.
Couldn't find dumbbells anywhere. We couldn't buy dumbbells.
But they were ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
I bought sandbags. I had this thing where you fill a sandbag with pouches and you fill them up and you can do curls and that's all I could do.
Yeah.
And then somebody turned me on to this other thing. I didn't bring it with me again, but it's some sort of strap workout with a plate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but that's what I did at home. And we did a lot of walking.
I did the Peloton too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute,
My
dude.
sister had a Peloton.
That'd be good for
Screwed me up big time.
you. How?
Have you been on one?
No.
It's like sitting on a bicycle with no seat.
Okay.
It's the most uncomfortable thing in the world.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, and like I this is gross, but I got a saddle sore, which is like a cyst, right? right in the middle,
right in the
right in the middle,
area, right in the
and right in the Gucci. And I was nervous about it. I was going on a golf trip with a bunch of buddies, and I didn't know what this thing was going to do. It was like a big, huge pimple.
Right.
So I bought. This is embarrassing. I bought a thing of Depends.
Right.
Here's a
Did you really?
37-year-old guy buying Depends at CVS. And I had to do like Grandpa needs these.
Not for me. These are for my grandpa.
I don't have no girlfriend.
Can't go out because of COVID.
I don't have kids.
Send me to the store.
No kids, no girlfriend. My parents are gone. My sister's like my godmother. So
Right.
before I left, I'm like, hey, just in case I'm struck by lightning, I get hit by a car, and the doctor is like, he's dead. We have a question. Why was he wearing Depends? I had to explain. I have a cyst. And it wasn't just some weird shitting myself fetish my whole life.
Are you doing a bit about that?
I'm
yet?
working on it.
You got to do that.
It's a
That's
true story.
hilarious.
It's embarrassing, but
Man,
yeah.
but it's perfect. That's like, how do you not do it?
For a full week, I wore Depends without anyone knowing. They're comfy. It's a feeling of reassurance.
These chairs are uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah.
I'm always sitting on a pillow
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
it was nice.
I thought about carrying a ring with me now when I go places. People carry rings with them.
What's that? Oh,
It's
for your
it's just a round ring that you can
Yep.
put on any chair you sit in at the airport. or
stadium
something.
seating type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because you use them once or twice. You're like, this is pretty good.
I just got a bidet.
Did you really?
Life changer. Absolute life changing.
I believe it.
Oh, it's a whole new world. I miss it. That's like my biggest thing I miss right now is not having the
you're
bidet.
traveling, you're like,
Oh yeah.
this sucks.
It's I don't know. It's just nice. Sometimes you go up there for just a sit. You don't even have to go.
I remember I had hemorrhoid surgery years ago.
Yeah, oh Jesus.
This is
That's personal.
Yo, yeah, it's
I've had them. Oh yeah.
dude, and I had them real bad. I had them
Yep.
so bad that I couldn't flying was a nightmare.
Yep.
And I'm like, I just couldn't sit. I couldn't do anything. It was miserable. So I saw my doctor, and he goes, well, you can go have the surgery. The good thing is you have the surgery. Usually that eliminates it completely. So I had the surgery. And someone who had it, I asked him about it. He goes, it is the best and the worst thing you will ever do in your life. I go, okay. The best part is you get rid of the hemorrhoids. The worst part is the recovery for 3 months. It's brutal.
Ooh.
So you want to talk about a cyst. This is your inside of your...
Oh yeah.
I mean,
the veins. Yeah.
So they give you, it's not a bidet, but it's similar. It's a seat thing you sit on that you fill with warm water that shoots up in that area. So you go in there. So every time you're fine till the first, you don't eat for days, but the first bowel movement is not good.
Oh boy,
it's real bad, and then it continues to be bad. But the first one is the worst moments of your life ever alive.
Okay,
it's really bad. So, and then you got the thing, and you sit there and you push the button or whatever, and it shoots. But when the water hits you, it's just. So my daughter at the time was 2 years old, and she was 2, and we had a baby at the time.
Yeah.
And we used to change it, and we used to buy diaper cream by the tub. And she called it medicine butt. That's what she called it.
I'm going to continue to call it medicine butt from now on.
Yeah, I call
was it like Desitin or something like that?
I can't remember what it is, but it's triple paste stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah.
works, and we would just gob it on their butt, and it worked like a charm for babies and stuff. So Anna called it medicine butt. She goes, every time we change Lily's diapers, you need the medicine butt? Yeah. So I told Lily, I told Anna I go, like, Daddy's going to be in the bathroom, and it's going to be, Daddy's, explain to her what's going on.
It's going to be some crying.
So I can hear her at the door. She's knocking the door, and I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm dead. I'm fine. I hear her run away like a little kid at her feet, and I'm sitting there, and she comes back, and she opens the door just a little bit and rolls the medicine butt into the bathroom. At 2, brother. I look at like, oh, you're funny. I'm just trying to help Dad. Runs away.
I had him in college, and I didn't know. Like I didn't know what they were. Like,
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah.
I have ass cancer now. Like I didn't know what it
You're all
was.
freaked out, yeah.
It felt like
This is a great podcast.
I know.
by the way.
It felt like I was sitting on a seatbelt. Is what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
It was
it's
like,
horrible.
what is that? But,
Yeah, mine was like a Fisher or something like that.
Yeah.
Told me what it was, but it was not.
I haven't had any surgeries. Nothing. No, I've been just younger surgery. But my brother, older than me, he's 5 years older than me. He just had his tonsils out like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I guess it's insane for adults.
It's brutal for
He didn't know that. Like
Yeah.
he said, like he used to like do impressions and stuff, just goofing around like voices. He goes, I can't do voices anymore. My voice changed. Like
Yeah.
everything's changed. But the recovery, he said, was unbearable.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that when you're an adult. It's all different. All right, on that note, let's wrap it up. That was great.
Hemorrhoid talk.
We covered hemorrhoids. We covered a lot of stuff. Any social media, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you can just Twitter. I'm usually on Twitter at Graig Murphy, Graig. Thanks, Mom.
Greg.
It's like
So it's Craig, but Greg.
Craig with a G.
Wow. What was that maneuver?
Well, I'm the youngest of 41 first cousins on my dad's side.
Seriously?
Yes, he's the youngest of 9, and there are like 6 Michaels, like
Okay.
John. It's an Irish Catholic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I was the last one, and with something new.
Yeah.
And this is just my mother was not a sports fan. I was born in '83. She must have been watching a baseball game and saw Greg Nettles
Right.
from the Yankees.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's how he spells it. So she named me after an asshole Yankee.
Yankee. Yeah. What's that
Like
about?
she didn't
Boston.
know. She didn't know. Like I'm supposed to hate this guy, and I literally have like maybe one of the top 10 most hated Yankees
Yeah.
as my first name.
Sure. Right. Okay. That'd be great growing up in Boston.
But every time my whole life spelled, I have to spell it out. Shit is misspelled, and people are like, why don't you change your name? Well, she'd probably hit me with a lightning bolt from up top if I changed the name.
Yeah, you better just stick with it now.
Yeah.
All right. So it's at Greg Murphy.
At Graig Murphy.
On Twitter. And
Yep.
that's it.
That's it.
All right, man. Dude, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. This will look good with half of the video. Half of it is the side of my head. I'll have to see when the camera ran out. Oh, wait.